Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. The stock market is open. It is Friday, so you already know we are trading options, reviewing our plays from the last 2 weeks, really. And we are controlling what we can control. And boy, has it been a wild market. You guys have seen it in the dividend account, in the small account, in the big account. I was out of town last week. I wasn't able to get a video up last Friday, so we missed a little bit there. We missed the closing of how we looked in the first week of March. But so far, so good when it comes to today. We've had some massive rallies that have put us in a pinch on one of our covered calls. We've had some early assignments on TSLL. We've had some pullbacks, actually massive pullbacks when it comes to Tesla. And we've had big pullbacks in the stock market. So we are just controlling what we can control. We're selling covered calls. We're selling cash secured puts. We're trying to buy assets. And we're trying to average down on some positions that we got assigned. We're down about, 30 grand or so since our all-time high, but we are still forging forward, and we are continuing to try to stack those assets each and every single week. Nice day in the account today, mostly because the market's up, Bitcoin's up, and we're at 110,000. We like to see it. I wish it was at 140,000, but as the market goes, we have ebbs, we have flows. You guys are probably all seeing it, and I'm trying to get back to cash on a bunch of positions. You guys know when I started this year, I was heavy in cash, about 80% in this portfolio. It's inevitable to get assigned some stocks when they pull down. When we're talking about like TSLL, we pulled down 80% from the all-time high. And it's just inevitable. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to stay aggressive this week. We're trying to sell some good covered calls that'll hopefully maybe get us back to some cash. And we're trying to buy some assets that will put us in a good position. So buying power is at 134 right now. We have a couple of puts out on the table. I want to go over those. And what we're looking at doing. So we have 6 MSTX calls. This is kind of funny. Yesterday, I was like, you know what? Let's throw out some lunch money. I sold a covered call at the 28 on 6 of my 600 of my shares, thinking, hey, this gives the stocks the availability to run 20% in one day. I don't think it'll do it. And my gosh, MSTX comes in today and it says, you know what? I'm going to do 23% in one day. So we are basically at the money. So what does that mean for me? Well, the good thing is I can just roll this position up. My cost basis is probably around 30 if we include some premiums. If we don't include premiums, then I think we're sitting around that 35 mark. So I could come in here and I could roll this position up and out, get 120 credit. This allows me to move from the 28 to the 35, which is a significant share gain if we get there by next week. And but Theta is going to continue to eat this away. You can see right now the debit is about $38 to close out each individual position, 55 credit. And as we get closer to market close, if we stay next to this 28 figure, then the Theta is going to continue to eat that away, right? So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that this credit can continue to go up. I'm not going to make any moves in this video because it just is the way it is. I need Theta to decay this away, and probably the last 10 minutes of the market, I will end up making the trade. That's what I'm looking at doing, moving it up and out, and that's MSTX. The other puts on the table, we have TSLL. I tried to get a sign there. We're 135 up on that put. Tesla, I've been trying to get some shares there. We're up 221 on that. On the next red day, which I guarantee will happen next week, I'll sell some more puts and I'll try to get some shares. Anywhere below that 240 price, I'm interested in Tesla. Long term, I think those will be good prices. And then I want to try to get into the Willen and Dylan. If I were to go in here and roll this position and we'd win for the same strike of the 230 next week, we're talking about a $338 credit. So that's a play we potentially could have. But for me, TSLL, I want to come down here and I want to show you what happened with TSLL. I got assigned early last night, a week early. You can see this 17 put assignment, $8,500 worth of capital, and I got assigned on that. I had rolled that out multiple weeks, and unfortunately, we got assigned early, which means we are way below our cost basis. So on these shares, full transparency, as always, we're down about $4,000, right? But I believe in Tesla long term. I'm not too worried about this, but I need to get my cost basis down. So what did I do? Well, I went in instantly this morning as soon as I got assigned. I bought 150 shares at 9, another 100 shares at 9.11. And that brought us up to 750 shares. As soon as these puts expire worth this, on Monday, I'm going to go in and I'm going to buy another 250. Hopefully that gets my position down to probably around 12 or 13. So even at the 12.7, the call premium is really, really bad. So I've got to work this cost basis down. If we look at the 2 weeks out, we can probably get the 12.5 for 14, which if we have 10 contracts here, we're talking about 140 bucks. Not great, but I need to work my cost basis down on TSLL. So we are back in it. And this stock has been absolutely beaten up. If you've been following this story, look at that. Down 73% in the past 3 months on TSLL. Thank goodness I didn't get assigned when it was in the 30s and 40s. That would be absolutely brutal and very hard to come back. 17 and now down to 14. I feel like I can work with that. So our average cost right now is $14.35. Again, on Monday or on the next pullback, I will be pulling the trigger and buying another 250 shares to bring that cost basis down more towards the 12s. And then we will get rocking and rolling there, right? So we have some Connell calls that are looking really good. This one's up 436. The 33s are up 256. We're down significantly on the shares. That one has been obliterated. But you know what? It just is what it is. I can't control it. That stock's been pulling back just like the rest of the market. So it is what it is. We're just going to let it ride, and we'll just continue to sell calls. When we look at something on Connell and we look at maybe rolling this position out into next month, we're probably looking at somewhere, it's just not great, but we're probably looking at somewhere like the 28s, right? So if we come in at the 28s, 150 bucks there, and we just control, we can control, and hopefully Coinbase bounces back. Crypto's been beaten up pretty hard with the market, especially with all the tariff news, especially just with the risk, right? Everybody is trying to reduce risk, and when you reduce risk, some of these higher beta stocks are just going to move, and it just is what it is. So we're going to let those just continue to simmer. We'll close those out next week and probably end up selling calls. We have 800 shares there, so we can get some nice premium there, a couple $100, and then we'll just let them ride for the month. If they get called, great. If they don't, great. We sold some CleanSpark calls. You can see these. They're going to expire worthless today. CleanSpark up 2.67%, and we're up 87% there. So we'll let that expire worthless. We'll let Tesla expire worthless. We'll let TSLL expire worthless. We'll have a bunch of cash on Monday to sell cash secure puts. Hopefully we get a little bit of red. If not, then we will just continue to wait, and we'll let the cash sit for now. And that's where we're sitting. I threw some Soxel calls out there today. Really, really low delta. I think it was a 0.05 when I sold it. Yeah, sitting at 0.05 as of right now. $28 worth of premium. It's not a whole lot, but it allows the stock to really run. So those are all the plays on the table as of right now. I'm just slowly trying to inch this up. We're still up big time on the portfolio. Unfortunately, we're down for now. But yeah, 1 year basis, we're still up 30% even with this pullback. So really nasty. I hope everybody is hanging in there. If you can't appreciate the 50% up, then you got to be able to, if you want to be able to appreciate the 50% ups, you got to be able to sustain the 50% downs. And unfortunately, we've had a lot of pullbacks, right? I mean, on February 19th, we were at 143,000. Since then, we pulled back 33,000, but it is what it is. We just control what we can control. You keep a level head, and it'll all work out in the end. Speaking of which, as we get closer, you can see this MSTX is getting closer and closer and closer. So the roll option now, when we get towards next week at the 35s, now we're looking a little better, about $180 credit. As Theta continues to eat this away towards the end of the day, I'm going to be able to close this for probably, $10 each and roll those up. So that's where we're looking. Those are the updates there. I do want to jump into the spreadsheet and just show the picture of how we're looking. These are all the trades that we have made in the Roth over the last couple of weeks. We have a lot of, there's still outstandings. We have a lot of Connell puts on the table. We have Connell calls on the table. And then we have all the positions that are expiring today that are still looking pretty good. So that's where we're sitting as far as that goes. Income-wise, where are we at? Well, we're about $11,142 for the year, which is not too bad. $1,643 for March. On Monday, we will be pushing that well over $2,000. And potentially today when we sell some MSTX calls, we started the balance this month at 127,000. Obviously, we're down about 17,000 from there. So the goal is to just inch that balance up. And we're just going to do that by selling covered calls, cash care puts, and continuing to buy more shares. We want this at 160,000 by the end of the year, but it's a long journey, and we're not going to get there in 1 month. And I realize that. So what can we control? The goal of $34,509 worth of options income. We're already $11,000 on the way. So we're 1 quarter basically into the first half or the first quarter of 2025. And so we're in a good track. If we continue this quarter like we have and we project that out to the rest of the year, we should be hitting that $34,000 no problem. So $2,676 is the base case goal at 2% for the month. Right now, we have about $1,300 left. I think we're going to be able to get it done. The weekly goal of 669, and it's very, very possible if we can get MSTX to continue to pull up and we can get back to cash there, that would make me really happy, especially with Connell as well. If we can get that to pull up, we can get back to cash there, then we are rocking and rolling. So that's where we're sitting in the account as of right now, $11,000 worth of option premium so far. You can see the first 2 weeks here, 14, 15 in the first week. This week we had a very, very low week. Like I said, I was out of town last week, so I just didn't do a whole lot of options trading. I kind of just sat on the sideline. So, and that's okay. I am totally okay with that. And we'll just continue grinding. So that's the update for the week. Here's where all the premiums have come from. MSTX being the beast. Connell right behind that. MVDL as well. TSLL starting to show some promise there. Soxel continuing to bring in that slow weekly income. And then hopefully Tesla is going to start really building a position in the portfolio. Again, we sold it off back in November and December, and we've just been kind of waiting on the fence for things to pull back. Now that they're pulling back, we are going to start a position hopefully here soon, and hopefully sub 225. We will see on Monday what kind of pullback the market gives us. So that's the update as of right now. Continuing to grind, continuing to sell the cash secure puts and covered call each and every single week, and continuing to move this number up. The more we can move this number up, the better the balance is going to look overall, and the closer we're going to get towards that $160,000 balance that we want by the end of 2025. Thank you, everybody, as always. Sorry for missing a week on this portfolio. Sometimes personal life takes over, and we actually have to enjoy some time with the family. So thanks, everybody, as always. Hope you enjoy your weekend, depending on when you're watching this. Happy investing. Don't forget to drop a like and a sub, and we will catch you next time.